Something big is happening behind the closed doors of the world's central banks. It's this quiet, but absolutely massive shift in strategy, one that really points to a future that could look very different from our present. People are starting to call it the new gold rush.
Get this, 1,000 tons. For 3 years running, that is the unbelievable amount of gold that central banks have been snapping up every single year. Just to put that into perspective for you, that's more than double the average from the last decade. So no, this isn't just some minor tweak in policy, it's a tidal wave of gold pouring into official vaults.
And that right there is the central mystery we're going to unpack. Why this sudden, almost insatiable appetite for an ancient metal? Why are the very institutions that manage our global currencies making such a huge bet on gold? And why right now? Okay, let's get into it.
Well, the answer really starts with a simple and kind of unsettling fact. We're living in a world on edge. So to really get why banks are running to gold, we first have to wrap our heads around the deep uncertainty that's gripping the global economy. And it all kicks off with a really fierce debate at its very core.
Yeah, that debate is all about the United States. See, to fight off the worst inflation we've seen in 40 years, the U.S. Federal Reserve has been jacking up interest rates like there's no tomorrow. But what they've done is basically split the world's best economists into two completely opposite camps.
And the split it's really stark. On one side, you've got Team Soft Landing. These are the optimists. They're looking at a strong job market, they see inflation cooling off, and they believe the economy can be guided to a smooth touchdown without a crash. But then, on the other side, you have Team Hard Landing. They're looking at the exact same data, and they see a massive storm brewing. They argue that a painful recession is just the price we have to pay to get inflation under control. When the smartest people in the room are this divided, you know what the only guarantee is? Deep, deep uncertainty. And all of this economic stress isn't happening in some kind of bubble. It's playing out in what the World Economic Forum calls an increasingly fragmented world. Geopolitical tensions are simmering everywhere, from ongoing conflicts to worries about national debts, and it all just adds another thick layer of risk to the whole global picture.
So, what happens when you mix intense economic uncertainty with rising global instability? You get a classic flight to safety. And for the world's central banks, that safety, well, it has a very distinct golden gleam right now.
The World Gold Council actually just asked central banks why they're buying, and the answers couldn't be clearer. They love how gold performs during a crisis. They see it as a fantastic portfolio diversifier, which basically means it holds its value when other things like stocks are tanking. They trust its history as a long-term store of value, and of course, its ability to protect against inflation. In a world this on edge, gold it checks every single box.
But listen, this is about way more than just a simple hedge. This chart, this reveals a potential seismic shift in the entire global financial order. Almost 3/4 of central bank managers expect the US dollar's role in global reserves to actually shrink over the next 5 years. They are actively looking for other options, and gold is the most obvious one. So this isn't just about playing defense, it's diversification with a serious purpose.
But why gold? I mean, really, why this one specific thing? Why does this single asset continue to command so much trust whenever things get turbulent? What is it that makes it the ultimate safe haven?
Okay, so first, let's be super clear on what a safe haven even is. The easiest way to think about it is like financial insurance. It's the asset that you expect to hold its value, or maybe even go up when everything else is falling apart during a crisis.
And gold, well, gold has been playing that role for literally thousands of years. Its real power comes from what it's not. It's a physical, tangible thing you can hold. It's not just a promise in a government's computer. Its value isn't tied to the policies of any single country or the health of any one currency. In a world that feels like it's breaking apart, that independence is its superpower.
So all of this, it brings us to the final and most critical question. What does this huge trend tell us about where the global economy is headed?
Well, according to experts like Kishore Narne, the conditions that are driving this gold rush, they're not going away anytime soon. All those fundamental factors, the uncertainty, the geopolitical risks, the search for something other than the dollar, they're all still firmly in place, and they continue to fuel this rally.
And you know who agrees? The central bankers themselves. I mean, the data here is just undeniable. A stunning 95% of them believe global gold reserves are going to keep going up. 43% plan to add even more to their own stockpiles. But you want to know the most telling number on this whole chart? It's 0. Not a single central bank surveyed expects to decrease its gold holdings. The consensus is absolutely overwhelming, and it's pointing in only one direction.
Which leaves us with this one last, really provocative thought. Are we just watching a temporary hedge? A short-term defensive move while the world is a bit turbulent? Or are we actually seeing the first chapter of a much bigger story play out? The beginning of a whole new financial era, one where gold reclaims a much more central role on the world stage. The answer to that question is going to define the global economy for years to come.